For many years, the rabbinate and secular humanistic Judaism were deemed to be incompatible. Rabbis were religious, and cultural Judaism was not. But time has changed perspectives. Our movement needs scholar leaders to serve the needs of our communities in the same way that theistic Jewish congregations need the guidance and teaching of rabbis. In modern times, a rabbi has become our expert in Judaism. And Judaism has become both religious and cultural. Cultural Jews need cultural rabbis. To be a secular humanistic rabbi is to embrace many skills. It is to know and understand the Jewish literature of the past and present. It is to teach and explain the history of the Jews with the tools of science. It is to celebrate the important times in Jewish life and personal development with creativity and a sense of secular integrity. It is to live and present a Jewish philosophy of life that enables others to find the source of their power within themselves and within others. It is to be a prophetic voice for justice and freedom for Jews and for all people. It is to speak for our movement with learning and with wisdom. It is to champion a pluralistic Jewish world in which many belief systems find unity and solidarity in a shared historical experience. On this evening, secular humanistic Judaism presents its future. Its future is a future of well-trained and inspiring leaders. Its future is a future of talented individuals who proudly serve our movement and the Jewish world as rabbis. 25 years ago, oh, we have a song. Let's sing it first.
איפה אורי בי, איפה תקוותי בי, איפה כוחי בי, וגם בך, איפה כוחי בי, וגם בך. Where is my light? My light is in me. Where is my hope? My hope is in me. Where is my strength? My strength is in me and in you, and in you. Where is my strength? My strength is in me and in you, and in you.
I remember when we had a different melody for that song a long time ago. There's one other skill to being a humanistic rabbi that Sherwin Wine did not include in that reading, which dates back to our first rabbinic ordination in 1999, and that is the skill to tell people that the argument, this is the way we've always done it, is not good enough. After all, if humanistic Judaism and secular Judaism before it has changed so much in the world of Jewish life, just because we're used to it a certain way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. We have to be flexible and creative, even in our own Judaism, in our own day and tomorrow. In fact, the moment we are celebrating tonight is a reflection of that value, of being willing to do something new in the world. 25 years ago, on this bima, something new happened in the Jewish world. Now, 25 years ago, there had already been rabbis whose personal philosophy emphasized human power and responsibility over divine intervention. You can think about the early Reform movement, to Mordecai Kaplan's Reconstructionism. These were people who said God, but their God was not the old God. And their human beings were much more active and knowledgeable and powerful. 25 years ago, there had already been Judaisms that secularized Jewish ceremonies, Judaisms that shifted their emphasis to Jewish culture over Jewish religion. other Judaisms that saw themselves free to both adapt the past and create anew. Think the secular Yiddishkeit of the Bund and other Jewish socialists and diaspora ethnic nationalists. Or think about the creative kibbutz Judaism of labor Zionism. 25 years ago, there had already been Jews who lived beyond rabbinic authority, making their own choices in how they celebrated Jewishness and harmonizing their beliefs with what they said and did. Think about those thousands of Passover Seders with millions of Jews who add to the traditional Haggadah, who skip over parts of the traditional Haggadah, who talk around the traditional Haggadah, who write their own Haggadahs. You know those people because you are those people. They already existed 25 years ago, 50 years ago, 75 years ago. 25 years ago, in 1999, there had even already been humanistic rabbis in the Jewish world. They had been ordained and evolved from other movements, and they had blazed a trail of harmonizing humanistic beliefs with cultural Jewish expression through empowering humanistic Jews to make their Judaism their own. What was new 25 years ago was creating a new humanistic rabbi from the beginning. That moment was a statement. It was a declaration of independence for our movement of humanistic Judaism and a milestone in the history of Jewish civilization. Tonight is another milestone for secular humanistic Judaism in North America. After 1999, we've ordained rabbis several times in 2001, 2003, 2005, 2009, 2013, 2014, 2017, 2022, and tonight, May 3rd, 2024, we ordained two more secular humanistic rabbis, Rabbi Claire Bergen and Rabbi Eva Cohen. Every ordination ceremony, both in North America and with our sister institution, Tumurah IISHJ in Israel, has always included a message from the other campus. Even during worse COVID times than now, I got up very, very early to share a video message with Tumurah's last ordination, which they scheduled for 10 in the morning Israel time, which was unreasonable o'clock Chicago time. But tonight, Rabbi Sivan Malkin Mas of Tumurah, Israel, has recorded a message to share with us. And so we will hear from Rabbi Mas.
Good evening. Let's start with a story. Once upon a time, in the land of Israel, a group of visionary leaders, including Judge Chaim Cohen, Professor Yehuda Bauer, and Rabbi Sherwin Wein, came together in Jerusalem to create the International Institute for Secular Humanistic Judaism. Why? What was the Torah? Who did they get it from? Well, that is written in a book that is called Pirkei Avot, translated as Chapters of Our Fathers. Moses received the Torah at Sinai and transmitted it to Rabbi Sherwin T. Wein, Professor Malkin, and others. They to the rabbis in North America and Israel, and the rabbis to their students at the IISHJ, and the students to the men and women of this great assembly, which are present here today, you, to transmit the Torah to the next generation of our legitimate Jewish leadership, who will in turn choose what their Torah is and who to disseminate it to. Eva Cohen and Claire Bergen, and all the ordinees of our efficient and leadership programs, you are joining the legitimate rabbinic Jewish traditional leadership, which I believe the Jewish world needs now. You choose to accept the Torah from our predecessors, but like them, who chose what text was their Torah, which books were included in the Bible, and which were considered the Apocrypha, or in simplistic terms, which books did not make the cut. Similarly, some of our ancestors, whom we refer to as the sages, kicked Moses, Aaron, and Miriam out of the Pesach Seder. And some of our sages brought them back, and some, in turn, kicked out God. In the past, our ancestors had the freedom to read and interpret the text in their way. They used their critical and creative thinking to introduce new traditions and customs, such as bar and bat mitzvah, Chanukah, and more. Similarly, it is truly inspiring to witness how the leaders of this movement have redefined conventional practices to align with our humanistic values, all while maintaining great grace and integrity. Rabbi Wine's groundbreaking ideas and tireless effort paved the way for a new era of secular humanistic communities and synagogues worldwide. Professor Malkin's pioneering work and contributions through books, lectures, media presence, and academic work have fortified the movement both in Israel and worldwide. Their traditional yet innovative legacy continues to inspire us today. We are building an international movement spearheaded by incredible leadership. Our strength is in our unity, but our power is in our diversity. I am honored to be here tonight and excited to take part in this conference and this ordination event. I am extremely thankful to the IISHJ Board of Governors for your support in enabling us deans to continue to teach and ordain together our next generation of secular humanistic leaders. Hopefully, you will all join us this December in 2024 to celebrate 20 years of IISHJ together in Jerusalem, ordaining more rabbis for our movement, hopefully in peace and harmony for all. I believe that our Jewish and humanistic traditions are represented by two scrolls. You may call it my Torah. The American and Israeli Declaration of Independence. While they have similarities, they are two distinct documents. The former is a humanistic compass, while the latter is a Jewish scroll, just like the scroll of Esther read during Purim, or the scroll of Ruth read in Shavuot. Just like in religious homes, every Friday they repeat the same message: God created the world. We, secular humanists, should say what we believe. For example, we will foster the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants. It will be based on freedom, justice, and peace, as envisioned by the prophets of Israel. It will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all its inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or sex. That's from the Israeli Independence Scroll. But the modern Israelites forgot something very important about happiness. So we should probably add, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are equal, that they are endowed with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Just imagine that every Jewish holiday will include a clear traditional revolutionary message of your choice based on our beliefs in human rights. You just completed your studies, but with freedom comes responsibility. Choose your defining statement. The term to ordain comes from the root of the word in Hebrew to trust, lehasmich, lismoch. We trust you to be the traditional, revolutionary, innovative Jewish leaders that you are. We trust you in turn to transmit the Torah to the next generation, whichever Torah it may be, and whichever manner you choose. So let me paraphrase and say, in Eva Cohen and Claire Bergen, we trust. Shalom. ותודה רבה.
At this time, I'd like to invite forward Rabbi Claire Bergen and Rabbi Eva Cohen. Both come up, both come up. I'd like to read the English for these ordination certificates with one bit of learning first. Traditionally, when a rabbi was to be ordained, and traditionally they were all men, the question would be asked in a traditional masculine form, Yoreh, can he teach? And the answer would be given, Yoreh, he can teach. A second question, Yadin, can he judge? Can he enact the law? Yadin, he can judge. In creating our certificates, of course, we adapt to the gender identities of our students, but we also change the questions. We ask instead, Yoreh, Toreh, Torah, can they teach? They can teach. Taskil, can they enlighten? Taskil, they can enlighten. The faculty and board of governors of the International Institute for Secular Humanistic Judaism hereby certify that Claire Melissa Bergen has fulfilled all the requirements for graduation and is herewith ordained as rabbi and is authorized and licensed to perform all rabbinical functions as a representative of the Jewish people. The faculty, applause for that, please. The faculty and board of governors of the International Institute for Secular Humanistic Judaism hereby certify that Eva Rose Cohen has fulfilled all the requirements for graduation and is herewith ordained as rabbi and is authorized and licensed to perform all rabbinical functions as a representative of the Jewish people. These ordination certificates have already been signed by two of their professors, Professor Linda Horowitz and Julian Levinson, and also by Rabbi Judith Seid, who was unable to be here this evening. And so I will be inviting up people to sign, and so the first two signatories, both appropriately and selfish prerogative, will be myself and Rabbi Miriam Jerris, faculty at the International Institute. Our next two signatories will be Rabbi Jeffrey Falick of the Congregation for Humanistic Judaism in Metro Detroit and Rabbi Jody Kornfeld of Beth Chaverim Humanistic Jewish Community in suburban Chicago. Our next two signatories who can come up are, our next three signatories are Rabbis Denise Handlarsky from Secular Synagogue Online, Rabbi Susan Averbach, and Rabbi Mary Raskin of Cultural Synagogue in Portland and the outgoing president of the Society for Humanistic Judaism. There is one more signature to be affixed to these documents. One tradition we've started recently in our movement, both here and in Israel, is to invite the newly ordained rabbis as their first act as rabbis to sign each other's certificates. Well, our two new rabbis have words they want to share about themselves and about their vision for their rabbinate. Having had the privilege of learning with them for several years, I will share just briefly that both Claire and Eva are intelligent, insightful, articulate, and powerful. They had two different paths, finding their way to the humanistic rabbinate, one raised in conservative Judaism, finding a home as an adult in secular Jewishness, through Yiddish language and culture, the other being raised in a humanistic Jewish congregation, and like me, being boring and never leaving. Both Claire and Eva are talented educators, capable scholars, and most importantly, they are fundamentally decent human beings, something that no education can teach. I cannot wait for them to graduate from students to colleagues, and I cannot wait for the Jewish world and the world of humanistic Judaism, secular humanistic Judaism as a movement, to experience the rabbis that they will become. And so I call first to this podium Rabbi Claire Bergen, to be followed by Rabbi Eva Cohen.